We went to the paediatrician appointment, and within about 2 minutes, he said he thinks she had spinal muscular atrophy. We asked, what's the cure? What do we have to do? And he said, there is no cure. It's terminal. I had a perfect pregnancy. The doctors called it boring, just because nothing happened. It just went exactly how it was supposed to. We had all of the fancy apps that were telling us what should be happening, and she seemed to be hitting everything, so we thought that everything was fine. I remember saying to Johnny that she was always a really good feeder, but she was just fussing a little bit when she was breastfeeding. I thought I would take her to a lactation consultant just to sort of check that I was doing everything right. And when I was there, the lactation consultant said that her feeding was brilliant, but that she was a bit floppier than she should have been. And I just remember thinking, oh, she must not be doing enough tummy time. And I sort of hoped initially that it didn't mean anything, but she pointed to a 10-week-old, which was the age that Mackenzie was at the time, and she said, that's what she's supposed to be doing. And I remember looking at the 10-week-old on the table, and he was on his tummy, sitting up, sort of head up, and she just wasn't doing that. So I called Johnny, panicked, and quickly rushed to the closest doctor, and they said, you need to go and see a paediatrician.
The moment that he told us what Mackenzie was suffering from was just brutal. It happened so quickly. We walked in with what we thought was a healthy baby, and then within two and a half minutes we were told that we had a terminally ill one that would unlikely see her first birthday, and realistically there's nothing we can do about it.
SMA, or spinal muscular atrophy. Basically, it means that her nerves aren't sending the message for her to be able to move. She has low muscle tone, and she can't really move much of her limbs. She can't hold herself up. It's a loss of motor function.
And that'll eventually turn into the inability to swallow, and then the inability to breathe, and that's sort of the final outcome.
I just remember looking at Johnny and just saying, what just happened? Like, we spent 6 months preparing, 9 months pregnant with her. How were we just being told that all that time, like, she was just going to be taken from us, and there was nothing we could do about it? What made us angry was that we then went to see a neurologist, and she told us that it's the #1 genetic killer in babies under 2. And we were like, how
is that possible?
How have we not heard about this? Why, if there's this many children that are dying from it, why do they not test for it? Why do they not tell you about it? She's obviously got purpose in our lives, but we want her to give her short life more purpose. So as a family, Johnny, myself, and both sets of parents, we've sort of banded together to see what we could do. And I wrote a letter which our families helped to address to 265 members of Parliament, and was just explaining Mackenzie's story and the fact that SMA is widely unknown, and that this didn't have to happen.
They know they cannot change the outcome for Mackenzie, but perhaps their campaign can prevent others from going through such pain and suffering. Accordingly, while caring for Mackenzie, they also make the time to push for greater awareness of SMA and increase access to carrier testing.
This carrier testing is actually routinely offered. A lot of the GPs that we've been in contact with actually not only haven't really heard of SMA, but they haven't heard of this genetic test. It's something that's relatively new, but we think that the government should be pushing out information to raise awareness Because if we were offered this test when we were doing our 6 months of preparing, we would have taken it. Without a doubt, we would have taken it. Not everyone has to, it's a personal choice, but it should at least be offered to people.
The Royal Hospital for Women have been amazing right throughout the entire pregnancy.
We fell in love with that hospital.
We really did. That was just above and beyond at every single step.
I don't know, we just felt so comfortable there.
Life with Mackenzie at the moment is fantastic. We're spending every day making memories and taking her to the beach, or making sure we have time dancing and playing with her, and just making the most of everything we can.
Every single time we hear from the doctors that she's doing well, we do another trip. We've gone to Broome and Byron Bay and Cairns, and we're off to Tassie next week. We took her to the snow 2 weeks ago. We just want her to experience as much as she can. We feel like we're being robbed of a lifetime with her, and we don't want to be robbed of the time that we actually have. So rather than spend our days hysterically crying, which we could easily do, we want these days to count.